What's up, nerds? We're your hosts this week. I'm Chad.
I'm Jake.
This week we are sponsored by Raise Energy Drinks.
We are also sponsored by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
This week we're going to be talking a little bit more about the second half of the first season of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime.
We're also going to be talking about The Batman, which
The
we just
Batman.
saw last night. So let's get into
Fantastic.
it. This is the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Nerd. Welcome back, nerds, to the All Things Nerd Podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. So, Jake, how was your week?
My week's
Well,
been
I
all
guess
right.
2 weeks. Let's talk about the past 2 weeks because we did not put out anything last week.
So a couple weeks ago, I got violently sick. Don't know what it is, but it
Not
wasn't COVID.
COVID.
I
Yeah.
tested twice, and it was negative both times. But last week I FaceTime Chad. You know how bad it was. I completely
It
lost
was
my voice.
so bad.
There was no way we could record. I couldn't talk.
I
It
meant to
sounded,
post something and I didn't because I suck.
yeah.
So that's
It
on me.
just sounded like a bunch of squeaky farts coming out of my mouth when I tried to talk. It was,
Compared
is
to the normal where it sounds like wet, juicy farts coming out of both of our
yeah,
mouths.
just because we just talk a lot of shit, you know.
Yeah. Like,
Uh,
you're like, oh God, I'm going to have to poop after this. Like,
the funny thing is going into week 3 here, my voice is still pretty jacked up. Not nowhere near as bad as it was, but uh, we're still there. Um, Other than that, I had a lot of fun. We got to hang out with you yesterday. Yeah. Uh, Chad and I got to meet up. The last time Chad and I saw a movie together was Venom 2 while we were in New York City. So this is the first time that we actually got to meet up.
that was not a good experience. I mean, New
No,
York was great. The movie and
it was
going to the
terrible.
movie,
The movie was terrible.
we
We
were
were
both
both very hungover.
violently hungover. Bloody Marys did not help us that
Because they
day.
were the worst
We
Bloody
went to
Marys I've ever
Applebee's.
had.
It was the only
Yeah.
place that was open
That's where that
that early
video
in the
was
day.
from where that I sent you the other
Yeah,
day.
of the
Where
crackhead
Elmo
Elmo.
was like,
Yeah, crackhead Elmo just wandering through Times Square.
fucking hilarious. The best part is like I'm facing you and your back is turned towards the window and I like took a video of it and I'm like laughing and you're like, what? And by the time you turned around he was gone. So you didn't even see it.
I didn't know what happened until you showed me the video. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Fuck, I don't know how have you been the past week or 2 weeks now.
I mean, I've been good. I'm settled
Tell
into
us
my.
about the incident. You
uh,
don't have to say names, but tell us about the
Sorry,
incident.
friends. But I had a couple of friends come and visit me this past week for my days off, and it was really great to see them. First off, like they're really great people, but it was also a little bit eye-opening that I can hold my liquor a lot better than these kids. I say kids; they're in their
Like
they're
13, 14.
mid
Yeah.
20s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mid 20s, but they came and stayed with me. We played cards, played games, like got super drunk the first night that they were here, and my friend just threw up all over my carpet. Like, I've lived in this apartment less than a month, and I was like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Cleaned up fine. There's no spot, anything like that. But it was just like one of those things where I was like, that's not great. But other than that, it was super fun to have them out here because, again, hadn't seen them since I left Minnesota last time.
Mm.
Well, that's not true. I came back for a wedding last October and I got to see them for a night, but we just went out and had a couple of drinks at a bar and played pool. This was the first time that like they came over and there was like no restrictions, like get plastered, let's just get rowdy, and yeah, it was. Other than that, it was a great time. Also, again, sorry, friends. Not to throw you under the bus. Also, we have a really awesome guest coming up next week. He's a cosplayer that has been in the cosplay scene for a long time. They call him Papa Penguin because he's been in the scene for so long. He cosplays as the Penguin from Batman. Super excited to have him on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I peeped his Instagram, and I mean, his cosplay is awesome.
Yeah, it's good,
really good, and he's going to be in full like cosplay when we interview him, so that'll be cool.
I might have to get like a little Robin mask or like
You would be Robin. That makes sense.
Well, only because it was suggested that you go out and get a Batman mask. That's the only reason why I'd be Robin.
Who suggested that?
Our producer, Alan.
Oh, I missed that.
You missed that. You responded to his comment.
Did I?
Yeah, you're like, I don't know if I can get a good Batman mask before that. And he's like, get a super cheap one. It'll be funny.
Well, now I think I have time to get one. I'll find one.
We were supposed to interview him this week, but scheduling conflicts came up. But we're super excited to talk to him. His Ozzy J for Oswald. It'll be great.
Couple pot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We can't wait to have him on the show.
Yeah.
We'll retouch on the Batman, like we're gonna talk about this week, but also just really dive into the world of cosplay. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jake? Anything else notable happen in the past 2 weeks? I mean, the house passed inspection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The house, Nicole, my girlfriend and I's house passed inspection, so we should have a house here. We should be moving in May. That'll be fun. We'll be recruiting you for help.
I'm busy that weekend.
Too fucking bad.
I know. You helped me move to a third floor walk up. I can't get out of this one.
Too fucking bad. No, it'll be good. I'm super excited. We were just talking this morning about it, right? This morning? Yeah. And I was like, you know how I know we're old, babe? And she's like, how? And I was like, we got excited about and showed our friends a picture of the headboard that we bought. That we ordered a headboard online and we got super jacked about it.
It's a cool headboard. I mean,
yeah,
I was one of the friends that they showed, so like,
yeah.
I got excited for them.
We bought. Yeah, stupid. But yeah,
but very grown up. I'm proud of you. Yeah.
I think let's move along here. I said it 3 times. Let's move along here.
Yeah.
4.
Oh. Hang on. Mustache hairs. Well, I can't get it. We're going to power through it. This week, this week, our title sponsor is Raise Energy Drinks. It's a fantastic energy drink that provides 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 crash.
It's a pickled habanero and garlic energy drink that
Well, they just released their prickly pear, which is like it's supposed to be like a pickled pear with a little bit of hop to it, if you will. A little bit of bite.
Hops.
A little bit of bite. No, but seriously, outside of energy drinks, if that's not your guys' thing, they have so much from protein-packed desserts, cakes in a mug.
Pancakes.
Protein-packed pancakes.
Batter.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They also have like pre-workout supplements as well as sleepy time supplements. Absolutely fantastic. Go check them out. Learn how to save 15%. We'll be right back to talk about Vox Machina. What's up, nerds? I wanted to take a minute and talk to you about Raise Energy, an incredible energy drink that provides max energy with 0 crash. Raise Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help you push your workouts and focus to the next level. Perfect for anyone at any time, and powered by their Refresh formula technology, Raise Energy delivers a performance-enhancing energy drink that aids in multiple different categories that include targeted focus, better recovery time, improved clean energy levels, and a boost in stamina and hydration. But most importantly, every can of Raise Energy has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, and 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. So don't settle for an energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, head over to repsports.com. That's REPPSPORTS.com and use the promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout for 15% off your order. Or if you don't know what you want, go ahead and click the link that's in the description to get a $50 sample pack for free. All you do is you cover the cost of shipping. Again, make sure you use promo code NERDPODCAST at checkout to let them know that we sent you.
All right, guys. We are going to wrap up the second half of season 1 of Vox Machina, or The Legend of Vox Machina, streaming on Amazon Prime. Fucking it's a cartoon, like almost like anime. It's super fucking good. Gory.
It rivals Invincible in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
For both storytelling as well as animation.
Yeah.
Gore, comedy, like it touches on everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna start this conversation off with Percival is still a bitch in the second half of Vox Machina. He sucks. He's the worst character ever.
You like hate him, and then you love him, and then you hate him.
I never loved him.
You loved parts of him.
I thought that. So the thing with Percy is that he is like possessed by a demon, and they like share his body. The demon is fucking cool. Percy sucks.
Yeah, so like when the demon takes over, you're like, this dude's dope.
Yeah.
So you hear that, kids?
Hail Satan. Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
Hail Satan.
Yeah, but Percy as an individual character, I mean, he's annoying. He's just an
emo kid.
Yeah, he's an emo kid that knows how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Nope.
There's
Nope. Nope. But that's the timing. I don't even know if I want to admit this detail that got me to this joke. I don't know if I want to like admit this connection that like made me think of it, but I'm not going to. Nope. No. Because it's bad, okay? It's not good. But Percy just really is throughout the season, he is a twat. Like, he has moments where, like, maybe, and then you find out that he's possessed by a demon, and you're like, oh, the demon's the cool part. Cool.
Yeah. It's super lame.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
Let's have a blood orgy.
I was going to say blood orgy.
Even though his character arc is like the driving factor.
I don't know why he's the main character. He's like the main-ish character.
My guess is I haven't looked enough into it because as we discussed last time that we talked about Vox Machina, is that it's based off of the Critical Role podcast and web series, like their Dungeons and Dragons. And the voice actors that play these characters are the ones who voice them in the actual show. I haven't looked enough into it, but my guess is that Percy, like the character of Percy, is the dungeon master.
Oh.
And that's why why
So
his
that guy's a twat.
why his character drives the story.
Gotcha.
I hope it doesn't stay that way, because I'm also really hoping for like another season of this, because the
Oh, I'm
show is
sure.
fantastic. I mean,
Yeah.
if not, you can go follow Critical Role on YouTube and watch. It won't be the same with animation, but you can actually get a lot of their D&D campaigns like acted out, because it's the same voice actors. They're just
Mm.
nerds like we are. They just have a job as a voice actor instead of a 9 to 5 like we do.
Uh, some big things that happened. Keyleth, the
She's the
elf,
fucking goat.
she gets fucked up. She gets real fucked up.
She gets wrecked and then comes back from it,
Yeah.
and it's Keyleth is Keyleth and Grog are my two favorite characters,
Okay.
and she just dominates with how powerful she actually is.
Yeah. It is pretty cool.
It's fantastic.
I'm still sticking with the two shorties. Pike and
Scanlan.
Scanlan are my two favorite
the
characters. Yeah.
the scene where he's trying to like use his music to like lift them away from the acid, and he's like, "Oh, we're too heavy." He's like, "Too heavy? Heavy." And he starts like shredding on his fucking like ukulele, whatever it is, to like play metal music to like
Yeah.
just
Prevent them
absolutely
from burning and acid. Yeah.
yeah.
It's awesome. They kill Briarwood.
Mr. Briarwood.
Mr. Briarwood.
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 The vampire chap, if you will. Not without jokes from Scanlan. Like, oh, guess he got too much sun.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I don't know. You talk.
During the first half of the season, like Pike is trying to be like the healer, like the holy one of the group,
Mm-hmm.
but still like trying to balance like the fact that she also loves to like party with these guys. She gets injured like in the first half of the season. She disappears for a couple of episodes, and she comes
Yeah.
back as like this glowing fucking goddess that she is.
Uh-huh.
But it's because she's using like astral projection.
Yeah, she's not actually there.
But like astral projection, like she's the most powerful fucker in the fucking group.
I still think Keyleth is probably more.
I don't
It's debatable.
debatable. You might be right, but also like the amount of damage that Pike causes as an astral projection.
I get in real life, because this is real life.
Yeah,
If she was
this cartoon.
actually there instead of in astral projection, she would probably be more powerful. Yeah. You're right.
Like she just dominates.
Yeah.
And then like her astral projection like focus gets distorted, and then she just like is gone for a little bit. But like during that time that she's there, like she's just kicking ass.
Yeah.
And she's not even there. She's meditating like in a far off land.
Mhm.
It's incredible. Like the character development is through the roof.
For all of them, except for Percy. Percy
Yeah.
still sucks.
One spoiler alert. Once the demon is like rid from Percy, he's just like a dude that like knows how to make a gun.
Yeah, he's just a
It's like,
guy.
cool, you're from Texas. Like,
Yeah.
we get it. Cool. Good chat.
That we could go back to that same joke that we thought was messed up, but we won't.
Nope.
He's just an emotional kid with a gun. I'll just leave it at that.
You'd think that, like, sometimes he would, like, cut his wrist and black his eyes because his heart is in Ohio. You know?
Black my eyes. boys.
It's not the
Yeah.
joke that we were alluding to, but I'm just trying to
Nope.
project that he's an emo kid. That
Chad
is.
was directing me away from that
Mhm.
joke. It's okay. It's a fucked up joke. And I didn't make
Intentionally.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, throughout the second half, we actually learned that Percy's sister, Cassie, is still alive. She's under the control of the Briarwoods.
Yeah.
And she almost acts like an ally for most of the second half of the season.
Yeah.
And then she
She's
kind of turns on them, and then it turns out because Mr. Briarwood is a vampire, he can, like, put her under a spell. And she's actually pretty badass herself.
Yeah.
I would say more badass than Percy.
Everybody's more badass than Percy.
Without the demon. Let's throw that in there. With the demon, Percy is fucking gnarly.
Yeah, but the demon is the badass, not Percy.
The demon is the badass, the gnarly. The nar, if you will.
Yeah. So Percy's sister ends up killing Lady Briarwood. Just fucking prison shanks her right through the throat.
It's so badass
and then
Percy's about to kill her, and she's like, "No, like don't give any sort of weakness for like the demon to come back. Like you're better than this."
Basically, if he were to kill one more person, the demon would have completely like consumed him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so Cassie basically is the one that saves him.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay, fine. She'll serve justice through, like, jail and the courts. And then the next, like, cut scene is a sword going through Lady Briarwood's throat. It just to the side.
Just
like,
goes sideways. And cuts
nearly headless Nick.
Yeah.
From Harry Potter. Like, that's Lady Briarwood now. And Cassie's like, I told you not to kill her. Said nothing about me. And then just like walks off. Basically like, okay, I did my job. The show is so fucking good.
Yeah, seriously.
And it sets it up perfectly for a second season, which we're all hoping for. The people that have at least watched it, I don't know anyone that has watched it and like, ooh, this is dumb.
Oh, yeah, no.
You can't think it when you watch it.
Yeah.
Like, the show is
great.
Fucking fantastic. So we're hoping for a second season. It hasn't been officially greenlit as of what we know. And, I mean, we're a big deal. So, like,
we're like famous.
Yeah, we're like famous.
Yeah, fucking Brussels sprout.
And just like that, Lola's gone. Wrong.
I'm right here, you fucking Brussels sprout.
No, but we haven't heard anything about whether or not it has been officially greenlit for a second season. I'm really hoping so.
Yeah.
Because it's really enjoyable. I mean, if it doesn't get greenlit, guys, and you're okay with not seeing the animation, but hearing the story as it plays out, go follow Critical Role on YouTube.
Do it.
And while you're at it, also follow us on YouTube so you can see how great we look.
Anyways, let's get into sponsor dose here.
Sponsor dose. Who is sponsor dose?
Sponsor number 2 is Crybaby Craig's. Crybaby Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. The shit's fucking amazing. Go check it out.
It's so
good. Go look at it. Cut it off, Chad.
Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. All right, guys. It's finally here. We are going to be talking about The Batman from Matt Reeves with Robert Pattinson. Fuck off. Spoilers.
Yeah. If you haven't
Spoilers
seen
to
it,
come. Yeah.
tune out, come back later. All right, that's enough time.
Yeah,
We warned you.
We at the start
Fuck,
before we
it's so
started.
good.
It's
so
amazing.
good. Oh my god. I think so. A conversation that you and my girlfriend and Ben had immediately after the movie was that the hype was a little more than it should have been. But the more this movie resonated with me overnight, like I literally was like, God damn, that part was good. Oh man, this part was so good. Man, this is so good. And by this morning, I was like, dude, that movie was so fucking good. I need to watch that again.
Absolutely incredible from the ground up.
Yeah. We have things that we're going to talk shit about because that's what we do. But
clearly. But for those of you guys that don't know, I went to school for audio engineering. I was looking at post-production. The sound design of this movie alone, story set aside, this thing is fucking golden.
yeah.
There's climactic scenes where there's music, but there's high intensity scenes where you expect there to be background music that does not exist, that just builds the tension of this being a true like detective thriller film. Like, this is not your superhero movie that is high action, high tech Batman using.
It was very much a thriller.
Yeah.
And just because I like to keep it interesting, I am going to contradict your claim about the, we already talked about this, but for me, the sound, not the soundtrack, or I guess the soundtrack, but the music in this movie, if you want to hear Nirvana just get beat to fucking death over and over again in this movie, that's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, we know that you hate Nirvana because you went to Halloween as...
God, it just makes me want to blow my brains out.
Post-brain blowing Kurt Cobain. Yes, if you want to hear a slowed down version of MTV's Unplugged with Nirvana, like that's the legitimate, like...
There's no other song
in the movie other than like cinematic score.
Yeah, it's just Nirvana.
If you can get past that, it's incredible because there's major fight scenes. Obviously, like the biggest like cinematic fight scenes obviously has like background music because at the end of the day it's a superhero movie, but it's done differently. There are countless fight scenes that have no background music. Mm-hmm. You just hear the ambience of the environment. So like, rain falling, trains in the background, traffic, whatever, and then just fight.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of a Coen's brother film, like especially if you go into like No Country for Old Men with Javier Bardem, just choking out the cop in the police station where there's no sound other than the struggle of the fight. Like, there's a lot of that in this film, and it is captivating. It is, oh my God. Like, I feel like I'm nerding out to a different level than what this podcast is because of that. Like, it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, a couple things that, and I want to point out that, well, I want to point it out, but I also want to point out that my girlfriend's the one who pointed it out to us when we were talking about it after the movie, is that he's clumsy. He's not a fucking ninja that is like a perfect Batman doing like triple backflips off of shit. I mean, this guy is jumping off of things, hitting shit, bouncing off of them, falling, getting hurt. Like he's he's not Christopher Nolan's Batman by any means. He is,
Which is incredible because Christopher
yeah,
Nolan starts at day one of
yeah,
Batman,
yeah.
where this is like year two.
Well, I think this is like I I mentioned this. I think that this is like kind of how Spider-Man jumped into Civil War. Like we all know how Spider-Man got here. We don't need to
Yeah.
make another movie
Origin
about
story. Yeah.
how Spider-Man got here. So this was kind of like that. It was we know Batman's origin.
And
We know
we've had the year one
yeah.
animated film.
Yeah.
I mean, this takes a step away from it, but like
Yeah.
he's at least
There's
established himself as an ally to the Gotham PD,
yeah,
especially
especially
to Gordon.
Commissioner Gordon, yeah.
Kimura, yeah, you're right.
Commissioner Gara. Yeah. Fuck. But yeah, it is amazing. There's parts where like you want to see, you don't want to see, but like when you compare, and you shouldn't compare this movie to the Nolan films because it's not anything like that, and that's what
I
sets it
think that
apart.
this sets itself apart from all of the Batman films.
But when you watch like Christian Bale's Batman, he's so calculated, and like when he intends to do something, he does it to the point. Where Pattinson's Batman, he is like, holy shit, I gotta do this. And fucking like when they show him run up to the edge of the building, he goes, whoa. Like he's like scared to jump off. And then he
Yeah.
puts his wingsuit on, turns his, fucking cape into a wingsuit, and then jumps. But he hesitates before he does it, as where Christian Bale's Batman like knew that he was gonna jump, knew he was gonna glide, knew he was gonna crash in through X window, grab guy, get out through this way. Where Pattinson's Batman was like kind of just winging it. Huh, no pun intended. But
But along those lines, like this movie really grounds the film and the story of Robert Pattinson as Batman and Bruce Wayne in a reality that is, I mean, it's very real.
yeah,
Yeah, he has some incredible tech, but like most of it,
is like realistic.
you can understand where it came from, like his grappling hooks and stuff like that.
Hmm.
They're the extendo like
They're
mini
actual
guns
grappling hooks
that have been around since like the extendo guns at least have been around since the Civil War. Where it's a trigger that shoots a spring loaded weapon into your hand from your forearm. Like these, like it's not super new technology, but then you have like the recording contact lenses, so he can
Oh
like
yeah, parts.
recap the night. He's got the the Batmobile, which is the coolest fucking.
Oh,
I don't care what
my
anyone says. This is the greatest Batmobile, and
best
we've talked
Batmobile
about it,
so far. Yeah,
where
best
it
Batmobile.
perfectly blends like a realistic Batmobile with the comics.
Yeah,
And
he's
I know a lot
like
of it comes from they did release like a prequel book that explains a lot. Where it's he's not just getting like a tank
this
from
isn't
Morgan
something.
Freeman.
This isn't something that he bought. He
Yeah.
built this car.
Yeah, from the ground up.
Yeah, can't be traced to him. He built it. And it's amazing.
So fucking good.
So good.
It's so cool. But it also ties back into like older Batman films. Even as far back as like I don't want to admit this, but even as far back as like Adam West, where like you can look at the car and you're like, yes, that is a model of car that's been modified. It's not a
Mhm.
Skylark like Adam West was, but it's built to where it looks like a car, but it's modified heavily to be a Batmobile, and it's
Yeah.
fucking kick ass.
Yeah.
And it's only in it for part of it because it's not practical. I
Hmm.
mean, this first and foremost, this movie is a detective film, which we have not seen outside of comics or animated films.
No, we see a little bit in the Nolan films, but just not to this
But
extent.
Christian Bale isn't that much of the detective. It's more he's relying on Lucius Fox and
No, in the second Batman, I disagree with you, strongly disagree with you, especially in the second Batman with Joker when he pulls the bullet out of the wall, cuts the concrete.
okay, yeah, you're right. I secede. That is a good point.
Yeah.
But for like an origin but not an origin
Yeah.
film, we're building on the fact that he's incredibly perceptive,
Yeah.
a great detective, very intelligent,
He
and
like he notices shit that the cops don't notice on the crime scene.
and then the
Like he
cops take note of what he's doing and follow his lead.
and you literally see it happen. You'll literally see him like scanning the room and then look at something and then Commissioner Gordon be like, "What do you see?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "This."
And even during the first like not quite the monologue, but shortly like into the first act, like within the
Hmm.
first like 10 minutes he's at a crime scene and is like looking at a spot on the floor that really like catches his eye, and then another like forensics officer is like, "Oh, he's looking at this. I should take pictures of it."
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Like
We got to move through this.
we've got
Let's see.
time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean,
We
we're kind of jumping around as it is, but
Yeah, we. I mean, one of my favorite. Don't get me wrong, I love Jim Carrey as the Riddler, but Paul Dano killed it, dude. It was so good. He was so good. They compare him basically to the Zodiac killer.
there
Uh,
were so like obviously when you're in the theater, you silence all of your electronic
yeah.
devices. My Apple Watch went off 4 or 5 different times throughout the movie to alert me that my heart rate raised above an acceptable resting heart rate because of, and most of it was during scenes with the Riddler
Yeah.
because it's so creepy but maniacal. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a different take on the Riddler,
It
obviously,
was
but it's
awesome. Yeah.
so good. I
I
I
I,
think you
I am
nailed it
curious.
with the Zodiac Killer comparison.
Yeah. Well, that's what I knew prior to the movie coming out is that Dano pulled inspiration from Zodiac
Yeah.
for the character. So that's not a me thing. I would love to take credit for that, but I cannot.
Fine,
Um,
whatever. Go fuck yourself. Mahalo.
what was that? Mahalo. Uh, but oh god, I lost my train of thought. I
I'm
lost
sorry.
it. No, it's okay. He
Oh,
was awesome. Uh, creepy.
I'm trying to give you space to see if you get to it. Come
It's
back.
not coming back.
Uh, everything with Paul Dano is just incredible. Um, I mean, very much like dissociative personality.
Mhm.
And they even talk about it in the film where he's like, "This is my real mask. I finally felt free to be who I
Oh yeah.
am."
That's quite possibly one of my favorite parts of the movie is that he has like a face to face with Batman, and he says, "I like your mask. I wish you had saw mine face to face because when I'm in my mask, I am free to do shit that I would normally be ashamed of. I'm free of shame and free of ridicule." And he's like,
Yeah.
just like me, you can do that exact same thing. And you kind of see on Batman's face, like, that Batman is Batman. That he, is I almost called him Zodiac again. Uh, the Riddler is basically saying when I'm in my mask, that's my real personality, which is who Batman is. The Batman is Batman, not
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne. Yeah,
Bruce Wayne is the facade.
yeah.
That's covering the tracks so that Batman can exist. It's being what
So
society wants Bruce Wayne to be
yeah,
so that Batman can actually get shit done.
yeah. Sorry, I stumbled all over that, but
No. I mean,
yeah,
don't. There was a huge part of this film is, and it starts right away, is that from the first murder that we see, it's the mayor,
Mhm.
and he leaves behind a young son.
Oh yeah,
And so many people have looked at that and been like, "Oh, that's gonna be Robin. Oh, that's gonna be Robin." Robert Pattinson even said that he wants to have a Robin, and it's like, yes, we would love to see a Robin. Robert Pattinson would love to have a Robin, but like this kid is not supposed to be Robin.
Robin.
I mean,
If that kid was gonna be Robin, Pattinson would have to be like 45 by the time that kid became Robin.
well, that and also just like they're not going to create a new Robin. They have so much source material that they're
Yeah,
already pulling from.
yeah,
But on top of that, I mean, this entire film it's about Batman, and then the moral that Batman learns is that Bruce Wayne has a role to play, not about the duality of the two. It ends with Batman being like, I can be more than just vengeance, and it even
yeah.
says it.
We're good.
Um,
Well, yeah, we'll have to bounce around a little bit, but yeah,
yeah.
with like that part of it, the ending monologue of the movie is literally him saying, "I need to be," because in the beginning of the movie, the like you said, second act, he beats up a bunch of kids that are like, who are you? And he's like, I'm vengeance. And he
Yeah.
just pummels the shit out of these kids
Yeah. Including Tim Drake, which is
from Titans, which
yeah.
is hilarious.
I
But yeah,
don't think it's actually Tim Drake, clearly, but it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. But in the ending monologue of Batman, and we can jump back after that, but he literally says, like, I realize I've made an impact on this city, but it's not the impact that I wanted to make. I need to be better than vengeance. I need to be a symbol of hope. And again, this is Batman's first 2 years as Batman. He's just starting out as Batman. So he
Yep.
isn't where he wants to be. And
Yeah.
this is the first step to like realizing, like,
And it's Bruce Wayne throwing himself fully into
yeah,
Batman in realizing, especially at the end of this film, because there is a need for Bruce Wayne to help rebuild Gotham. But so much of what I've seen online is people talking about like, oh, the little kid, he's gonna be Robin. He's gonna be Robin because like Batman needs Robin. It's like, no, you're fucking missing the point. This is Batman looking through the lens of Bruce Wayne and seeing a
mm,
young kid
who
that
just lost his
his
parent.
who
Yeah.
lost his father, being stripped of that family dynamic
Mm,
that would allow him to grow up and be productive in society and be an influential member.
yeah.
So it's like a constant moral reminder is how I saw this little kid
Yeah.
as like this is where it all started for Batman was being a kid and having his childhood ripped away from him and only wanting to be vengeance,
Hmm.
not wanting to be a symbol of hope, not wanting to provide the the correction that the society of Gotham needs
Hmm.
in daylight. So it's it's almost like a duality in that sense of
Yeah.
where he's seen this kid and been like, there's more to being the Batman than just
Yeah.
beating the
I
shit out of
also
criminals.
I also really like. Well, we had a conversation about it, you and I, about his relationship with Commissioner Gordon, Jim Gordon.
Mm.
In previous Batman movies, all previous Batman movies, Commissioner Gordon's always been kind of like on the sideline.
We've had great
And
Commissioner Gordons, but
yeah, don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but this Commissioner Gordon and Batman work like in tandem with each other. Like
so
uh,
good.
in point in case is when they're questioning the Penguin, and like literally, it's like they're just sentence for sentence, just like
Yeah.
playing off each other's words to Penguin, like while they're questioning him. It was fucking amazing. I loved it.
Also, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but like Colin Farrell fucking killed it as the Penguin.
Yeah,
Looks nothing like Colin Farrell.
yeah.
First
I
off,
should. Nicole's not huge on like names and stuff. And I was like, that was Colin Farrell, and she was like, huh? And I was like, you would know him if you saw him. And she was like, okay. And I googled him, showed it to her, and she's like, no. And I'm like, that was Colin Farrell, and she's like, what?
the best thing that I've heard about like an interview with Colin Farrell about it is that once he got into makeup,
His kid.
no, it was just that
Oh,
he just like was like, I'm not taking this off until we're done for the day. First
oh,
off, so he'd like go out and like get coffee and stuff like that, whatever it is. But the thing that he loved most about it was he's like, when I read the script, I had ideas as to how I could like bring this character to life. And then they put me in the prosthetics and that all fucking went away. And I was just free to be the character because I did not recognize myself in the mirror.
mm,
He's like, I was just, it was my acting, it was my words, it was, how I prepared
mm.
for the character, but I was free to do more
He
because
also
it doesn't look like Colin Farrell.
not even a little bit. He also said that his kid was like terrified of him, like in full
Oh,
makeup. Yeah,
well, I believe it. He looks like a scary mobster.
yeah.
And this is as
Uh,
much of an origin story for him and
yeah. I mean, they
Catwoman
make that
and
point at the end of it.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm.
We haven't talked about Catwoman yet.
We'll get there. We're only at 6. We have to get to midnight first. Um,
You're an idiot.
I stand by what I said. I don't give
There's
a
a
shit.
there's a couple small things I want to reference. One while we were watching the movie, I leaned over to you and I was like, oh, "Dude," and you were like, "What?" And I was like, "The fucking statue," and you're like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The original Batman series, you know, the '70s like Batman series, there's a statue that when Batman and Robin are being called to like a crime scene or whatever, they would like pull the statue like down and it would open up a fireman's pole basically that they would slide down to get to the. Oh, I broke my pen.
Aw.
Uh, to get to
Basically, they'd
the.
pull the bust of the statue, and then "Welcome to the Jungle" would play in the background. Then
Yeah.
they'd throw one leg above their shoulders and slide.
Yeah, and they would slide down a pole to the Batcave, blah blah blah. But in the background of one of the scenes in Batman, that exact statue is there, and
Yeah,
it just as like a Easter egg or
yeah.
whatever you
It's
want
just
to call it.
a nod to where
Yeah,
everything came from, but
and
it
I
was
like
cool.
looked around, like when I saw it, I was like, oh, and I like looked at Ben. Ben didn't recognize it. My girlfriend didn't recognize it. I looked at Chad. He didn't recognize it, but he recognized, like, looked at me looking at him.
I
And he's like,
recognize
"What?"
it. I just didn't get as excited.
Yeah. He's like, what? And I was like, it's the statue from the original Batman. And he's like, cool.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, the one that they like pulled to get to the Batcave. I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, it's fucking cool, dude.
I felt like a dick afterwards, if that means anything. I was like,
I was
oh, I should
excited
have been
about it.
more excited for
It's
Jake.
fine.
Uh,
Oh,
very small character, but just because I love indie films, Peter Sarsgaard has a small role in this as the DA. He makes a couple of comments, and all I could hear him saying was like, don't mock me for my hobbies. I don't mock you for being an asshole.
Yeah.
From Garden State, but
Mm.
he, I mean, he was fantastic in the film. Basically, anyone that had like any like major role in this film, not necessarily like in the grand scope, but in portraying the story, like this movie was cast so well. Fucking A, guys, like go watch it. If you're still listening and you haven't seen it yet,
Anthony Cotton.
we've only ruined maybe an hour of this film, and it's a 3-hour movie. We have not, we've barely scraped the surface.
Yeah. Let's talk Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, now we went to midnight.
I don't want to.
I love Zoe Kravitz. I think that she's phenomenal and she kills this role. But what's your gripe with her character?
Okay. Well, first let me say I have a huge crush on her.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh.
I've always had a crush on her. And then
smoking.
So I mentioned it to my girlfriend and she's like, yeah, it's no secret you have a crush on her. Like, shut up. I was like, okay. But the only problem I have with her in this movie is when she's not in her Catwoman outfit, the way she walks. Like, she's just like dramatic. You guys can't see me that are listening, but she is like fucking just so dramatically like walking through everything. It's like
take a runway walk from any Victoria's Secrets model and double the speed.
Dude,
she power walks with the hip sways and like looking at the cameras left and right.
Yeah, it's like, dude, chill out, man. Like,
it is over the top. Once you pointed that out to me, I was like, you just took that like 10 out of 10. Like, she nailed the role. And then you pointed it out, and I was like, she still killed the role, but that now pisses me off.
She did kill it, and like one of the cool things for me about this role for her is that she originally auditioned for Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, but was turned down for the role.
And I did not know that.
Yeah, but she fucking destroyed this role. It was so good.
Chef's kiss. Like, she honestly is so great. And right off the bat, like, they're not hiding the character dynamics of who Catwoman is in the comics and in stories, like the kind of, call me woke, I don't give a shit, but like the fluid sexuality of like her roommate that basically is what gets her involved in the investigation. Like, she's in love with this person.
Yeah.
And it's a female, and then she kind of starts to fall for the Batman. And all of that, like, they don't shy away from the dynamics from the comics and the animated series that really build a lot of the character's background.
They and also in the comics, like the Bat and the Cat, which they reference in the movie, Selena Kyle is POC.
Oh, really? I did not know that. I haven't read, I'm going to admit, I have not read a lot of DC comics, and by that I mean probably one or two in my lifetime. But I have read up on characters because it fucking fascinates me. But that's really cool. I'm really glad that they stuck that too, because it's important. It's part of who the character is.
Yeah.
And Zoe Kravitz fucking kills it. She nails it. Yeah. From I've been using this word a lot, and I don't think I've used it much in any other of our podcasts, but like the duality of the character. Granted, her walk was very fucking obnoxious. When she's like, I work in a club. Watch these hips bounce and my shoulders go with them. Bam, 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 bam. But in all seriousness, like, they do it so well. Every single character in this film is just brought to light. So I heard things about, like, you know, like certain characters were overshadowed, and I was like, I don't, I don't think so. I think that it was this might be well, it's the perfect live action Batman film that we've seen to date, hands down. You can talk shit if you
The
want. You just
no,
tag at
I just
at Jake
I
for
just think
this.
that there's so many different then I don't want to like stray off topic too far, but there's just so many different adaptations of Batman.
Batman,
There's
Batman and
just
Catwoman.
Michael Keaton embodies it. He killed it. It was amazing. Val Kilmer, I loved it. Clooney, I love Clooney. Terrible. Uh,
Thank you for
Christian Bale and Christian Bale, I loved the Nolan films. I don't. I
they
talk shit about
they
them
were
because
fantastic.
they were so good. I rewatched them regularly.
Yeah,
Uh, Ben Affleck, I wish before this movie came out, The Batman, I wish that we got a solo Ben Affleck Batman movie. I wish we did.
yeah.
You know,
I don't
uh,
anymore, but I did.
yeah. And now I'm hooked on this. This is what I want to see going forward. This is great.
See, I got really hooked on the animated films after the Justice League came out. Like, yeah, I had seen some, but like I really like dove into them.
Yeah.
And in the animated films, like they really drive like the Batman's personality, him being, more
Mm,
calculated, detective, stuff like that. So like this was like the progression that I desired.
mm.
So like I admit I'm very much biased cuz I also haven't read very many DC comics, but this was fucking
Yeah.
fantastic.
Let's end it. Let's
Let's
end it here.
yeah, let's end it. So yeah guys, we're going to go ahead and close out this
No, no,
episode.
no, no, no,
Oh.
no. Let's end the Batman.
Oh, and the Batman. So we're not
We
going to
have
go for it. You take it away.
the there is a scene. It's not an end credit scene. There is no end credit. Well, kind of end credit scene.
It's like a
It's
teaser.
basically the Riddler is in his prison cell, and
Mm.
somebody starts talking to him. They don't really show. They show him from like here, like the bridge of the nose up. You can kind of tell that he's got like they don't really. It's like burns, maybe chemical burns, would make sense.
Yeah.
But it's the Joker. They don't say it's the Joker, but they start talking. Blah blah
They
blah.
also hint like, they say like you can do this for so long otherwise you become a clown.
Yeah, and then they start laughing together, and the laugh coming from that cell is obviously the Joker, and it's played by Barry Keegan. I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but
Keegan Kane,
yeah, he was in Eternals,
also
uh,
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders. Yeah,
Yeah.
I he could do it.
I think it's the right casting. I
Yeah.
think that he has the dynamic role to compensate between like the super serious, the insane, and the
Mm-hmm.
in between. And I think even just in that scene, you don't even see his full face. It's just his voice and like you said, like a silhouette of
Yeah.
darkened out eyes, a
Yeah.
little bit of a nose. You see like burns or scars.
It looks like Burns
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited
But
to see where they go with it. You have to have. Here's the thing: you have to have the Joker
yeah.
in any Batman, like any Batman adaptation. He has to be. He's he's the opposite.
Yeah.
He's the Lex Luthor to Superman. You
Yeah.
have to have the Joker. But we talked about this earlier. I want to see some fucking bad guys that have not. There's so many villains in the Batman comics that we haven't seen, and they
Yeah.
just keep redoing the same ones over and over again. I
There's
want
a
to
couple
see
that we've seen that I want to see done better. Doing better.
better. Yeah.
I would love to see Mr. Freeze. You
I would love to
mentioned
see
Poison
Poison
Ivy.
Ivy. Like
You
a
also
good,
said
not
Clayface.
Clayface would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see some villains that we haven't seen done
I
yet.
would, just for the sake of the joke, I want to see Kite Man. Because it'd be hilarious. But, no, like you said, like, love to see more of these, like, Rogues Gallery. And Matt Reeves has even said that he wants to bring in a lot of the Rogues Gallery. The introduction of the Joker was done so well.
It was good.
To where he doesn't even have to be a major role in the next film. He can still be kind of like a distant character and just building. And it's so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So,
say it. With
that being said, fuck you. Take a drink.
My drink's gone.
Yeah, we are going to go ahead and close out this episode, though, guys.
But before we do, we want to talk about a couple things. One thing that we want to talk about is we have announced and posted our Lunar New Year giveaways. There, it's on our Instagram. Go check that out. Your names should be on there.
Yeah, and if you were part of our grand prize winners, we have definitely reached out to you about sizes of merch and stuff like that you guys require. On top of that, we also do have our Patreon page. Guys, this is easily the best way to support the podcast if it's something that is in your guys' budget. Yeah. It's a monthly giving. You guys get access to behind the scenes, bonus features, especially with our interviews. Like next week, we'll post the full unedited interview with Ozzy J. And it's just a great way to also support us if you like to see what we do.
Get some cool shit with it too.
Yeah, you get some merch that is not on our web store. Which is pretty cool. You get some bonus features there. And it's just a really fantastic way of supporting creators, whether it's us or other people out there. It's the most direct way to show your love and support to people that are creating content that you enjoy. Beyond that, I mean, we do have our... Yeah.
I saw it. There's a nice way of avoiding that being said.
You still fucking said it. Yeah. But beyond that, we do still have like our web store. Following us on Facebook, Instagram. If you are on the TikTok, I mean, we don't do a whole lot there. We're trying to get better. We'll see how that goes.
It'll be easier now that Chad's here in Minnesota.
Yes. Yeah. Those are fantastic ways of showing your love and getting us out there. If you appreciate what we're doing, we hope that you do. If you just decided to click on this podcast because we're talking about the Batman, we hope that you enjoyed it and that you want to stick around. I mean, besides that, guys, I mean, we really do. I'm really trying. We've created a drinking game out of our normal segue of saying, with that being said, mainly because Jake's girlfriend pointed out to us that we say that a lot.
That being said.
Yeah, with that being said, I just drank anyways. We love you guys. Thank you for sticking around for as long as you guys have. And this has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.
Cheers.